Samina Awan, a 30-year-old homemaker, lives in a serene suburban neighborhood in Texas with her husband, Kamran, a 40-year-old businessman, and their 6-year-old son, Aris. Their home, nestled in a quiet cul-de-sac, reflects a picture of domestic bliss that belies the underlying monotony of their lives. Kamran's dedication to his growing logistics company has strained their marriage, leaving Samina to shoulder the weight of domestic responsibilities alone. Each day unfolds predictably for Samina. Early mornings cooking breakfast, dropping Aris off at school, grocery runs, and evenings spent trying to make conversation with Kamran, whose responses are often curt or distracted. Samina feels invisible in her own home, her vibrant personality dulled by years of neglect. Kamran, though not unkind, seems unaware of how distant he has become. His rare compliments are mechanical, his love buried beneath piles of work. One quiet morning, Samina sips her tea by the window, watching the neighborhood stir to life. She feels a pang of yearning for the vibrancy her life once held. Her thoughts are interrupted when Kamran announces over breakfast that his father, retired Professor Asim Awan, is coming to stay with them. A mild stroke has left Asim partially dependent on care, and Kamran has decided to bring him to their home to recover. Samina greets the news with a mix of apprehension and hope. The monotony of her days might finally be broken, but she worries about the challenges of caring for her father-in-law. Kamran, as usual, brushes off her concerns, leaving Samina to navigate this new chapter alone. Asim arrives with little fanfare but instantly changes the household dynamic. At 70, his presence is warm but commanding. A retired literature professor, he exudes calm wisdom and a deep appreciation for the simple joys of life. Despite his frailty, his sharp intellect and gentle humor make him endearing to everyone, including Aris, who quickly becomes attached to his Dada Abba. For Samina, Asim's arrival is both a blessing and a challenge. She finds herself busy ensuring his comfort, adjusting his room, preparing his meals, and helping with his medications. Unlike Kamran, Asim notices her efforts, often expressing gratitude in ways that feel deeply genuine. One afternoon, while arranging books on a shelf in Asim's room, she stumbles upon his collection of poetry. Curious, she asks him about it. Asim's eyes light up as he recites a few lines, his voice carrying the weight of decades of reflection. Samina listens, captivated, feeling a spark of intellectual connection she hasn't felt in years. For the first time in a long while, she feels seen. Over the weeks, Samina and Asim grow closer. Their conversations evolve into deep discussions about philosophy, art, and the human condition. Asim's ability to listen without judgment provides Samina with an outlet she hadn't realized she craved. Gardening becomes their shared ritual. Together, they plant flowers in the backyard, their hands brushing occasionally as they dig through the soil. Kamran remains oblivious to these moments, too engrossed in his work to notice the growing bond between his wife and father. On the rare nights he is home for dinner, he speaks about business deals and market trends, never noticing the sparkle in Samina's eyes when she exchanges glances with Asim. One evening, after Aris is tucked into bed, Asim asks Samina about her dreams before marriage. She hesitates, then confesses her love for painting, a passion she abandoned after Aris's birth. Asim encourages her to pick up a brush again, his words laced with genuine belief in her talent. That night, Samina finds herself digging through storage to unearth her old painting supplies. The once cold household begins to feel warmer. Samina feels alive again, buoyed by Asim's attentiveness. Their moments together grow more frequent, filled with laughter and quiet camaraderie. Yet beneath the surface, both feel the stirrings of something unspoken, a connection that goes beyond familial affection. One afternoon, as they sit on the porch watching Aris play, Asim absent-mindedly places his hand over Samina's. The touch lingers for a moment too long, leaving them both startled. Asim quickly withdraws, mumbling an apology. Samina brushes it off, but her heart races long after the moment passes. Kamran, meanwhile, begins to notice small changes in Samina. She seems more vibrant, her laughter more frequent, and her attention to him more distracted. He chalks it up to her finding solace in having Asim around, oblivious to the undercurrents in their relationship. A thunderstorm rolls in one evening, shaking the quiet household. Kamran is out of town for a business meeting, leaving Samina to manage the storm alone with Aris and Asim. When a sudden power outage plunges the house into darkness, Samina lights candles and gathers everyone in the living room. As the rain lashes against the windows, Asim shares stories from his youth, his voice a soothing balm against the storm's chaos. Samina finds herself drawn to his warmth, his words stirring feelings she can no longer suppress. When Ariz falls asleep on the couch, Samina and Asim are left alone. The tension between them, long simmering, finally boils over. Asim reaches out to comfort her during a moment of vulnerability, and before either can stop themselves, they share a brief but electric embrace. The intensity of their feelings leaves them shaken, and they part ways for the night, deeply conflicted. The following weeks are a blur of stolen moments and unspoken words. The bond between Samina and Asim deepens into an emotional and physical affair, hidden from Kamran and Ariz. They navigate their connection with caution, fully aware of the consequences but unable to resist the pull of their feelings. Samina is torn between guilt and the exhilaration of feeling truly loved. Asim battles with his conscience. His love for Samina clashes with his loyalty to his son. Their secret becomes an unspoken pact, one that both sustains and torments them. Kamran begins to notice inconsistencies in Samina's behavior, her absent-mindedness during conversations, her tendency to avoid his gaze. His suspicions grow when he returns home early one afternoon to find Samina and Asim sitting unusually close in the garden. Though they quickly compose themselves, Kamran senses something amiss. He starts keeping a closer eye on them, his paranoia escalating with each passing day. Samina, oblivious to his growing distrust, struggles to maintain a semblance of normalcy, torn between her love for Asim and her fear of discovery. Kamran's suspicions come to a head when he returns home unannounced one afternoon and finds Samina and Asim in an intimate moment. The confrontation is explosive, with Kamran's fury and heartbreak spilling over into accusations and recriminations. Asim tries to explain, but Kamran is too enraged to listen. He storms out of the house, leaving Samina and Asim to grapple with the fallout of their actions. The household crumbles under the weight of betrayal. Kamran refuses to return, leaving Samina to navigate the consequences alone. Asim, overwhelmed with guilt, decides to move out, leaving a void in Samina's life. Samina is left to pick up the pieces, focusing on Ariz and seeking counseling to process her guilt and grief. Kamran remains distant, his trust in her irreparably broken. Though they maintain a civil relationship for Ariz's sake, their marriage is effectively over. Years later, Samina receives news of Asim's passing. Along with his belongings, she finds a letter he left for her, an apology for the pain he caused, and a gratitude for the love they shared. The letter provides bittersweet comfort, offering her a sense of closure. Though her life remains shaped by the choices she made, Samina finds strength through self-forgiveness and reflection. She focuses on rebuilding herself, vowing never to let loneliness cloud her judgment again. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification for more stories like this, and give this video a thumbs up. Click on this next interesting story.